Marcus playing tonight? Is Marcus playing tonight?
Supposedly he's going to go through whatever he's going through now and then give the thumbs up after that, but indications are that he will be available to play.
What will he give you that you guys have been missing for the past 10 games?
Well, I don't know, just because he hasn't even practiced really with us, so hard to tell. Probably won't play quite as much, would be on a little bit of a minutes thing, so hard to tell. I mean, I think we need what he brings on a normal basis. So, hopefully we're able to. He's able to do that.
Brad, did you guys have a shoot around this morning, or a walk through here? Yeah. So
yeah.
Would he do that? Did he look to be anything to you there?
So I don't know how most people do it. The second of a back-to-back, is a walk through. So he looked good. I mean, yeah, we didn't do any butt kicks or high knees, but other than that, walking, he looked good.
Yeah. So if you decide to play a walk-it-up offense, he could be willing.
Yeah. I don't know about the 16-second mark that we have to cross by, but yeah.
With his injury, what's going to be the criteria health-wise that he has to check off to come back and play?
It's all him feeling good. He's been checked off structurally.
What kind of work did he do while you guys were in Atlanta?
Just more, just continuing to enhance his workout regimen within the training room on the Alter G, and then got on the court more. So he's been on the court a little bit, and they were talking about how he shot going each way, and I already knew the answer to that, so that was good. I think he feels better, so we'll see.
Has the fourth quarter Woes gotten into the head of the team?
It's a great question, Bill, and I think the answer to that is, and it's funny. It's not funny, trust me, but it's. But I think that the one thing that we need to do is just control all of those little things, and we talked about some of those last night in Atlanta, and really. Those things add up at the end. And what's happening from my perspective is when we're executing, and we played again pretty well when we were really organized. When we were unorganized, we were a little bit more. We turned it over a few more times. We didn't score at the rate we needed to. And then defensively, I just thought they got to the rim on us and were physical with us around the basket all too often. And you've probably asked me, and I know a lot of people have asked me, does this team need to learn how to win? Man, I've been bristling at the question, because we all see that you want to be able to get over the hump. Maybe there is some of that. I don't know. But one of the responsibilities that I feel like I have is, we got to get some of these young guys to become those guys, and we've got to get some of those young guys to, whether they're ready for it or not, to be the guy that is making a play, not only to make a big basket at the end of the game, but to stop a run. Having the toughness or the desire to want to make that play. And I got to do a better job in helping those guys believe that they can do that.
How is your frustration now compared to other situations you've been in your past coaching days?
Well, when I turn on the news, I realize that it's still just coaching basketball in some ways, right? But it's, we gotta get over the hump.
How do you instill that confidence and convey that message to the guys? I want you to be that person to step up and take those shots. You don't have to worry about passing it off.
Well, I think the biggest thing is that we have to do all of the little tough things better. And then that stuff happens. But then don't be afraid to step up in that moment. And I'm not saying they're afraid. I think sometimes we're just all looking for the other guy or deferring somewhat. And I think we've got a lot of guys, and we're going to have to continue to do that by committee. But it's easy to point to the fourth quarters, but I think that we have moments throughout the game where we play too unsolid, and I think that catches up with us at the end. It's hard to also remember last night for me. We were down 9 with 2 minutes to go and gave ourselves a chance to tie the game. So we did some good things too, but it's certainly I think the word you used is frustrating, right?
How would you define physicality? Just from your perspective, what is that?
So I think that's a great question, because to me, it's my dad just flew in. He got here. It's good to see him. To me, it's being able to operate through any kind of physicality on both ends of the floor. So, I think inevitably the game is going to ramp up a notch late, and people are going to get into you. People are going to be physical with you, and you have to get to where you want to go on cuts without the ball, get to where you want to go with the ball, regardless of that contact, regardless of that intensity being ramped up. And I think on the other end of the court, you have to be able to direct people and be able to, within the rules of the game and without fouling, hold your ground and take away spots. And I think that yes, that's going to be impacted by youth some because of just the strength factor. So that's what I'm referring to when I talk about physicality.
Are you seeing the kind of physicality you want early in games, and teams are just ratcheting up, or it's not?
It's a different. So if you really watch the first half yesterday, we were in a really good rhythm, but they went to a different level in the second half. And so we have to be able to play through that, and we have to get better doing that. And that's, a lot of times late in games, you watch a lot of basketball, Sherrod, you see people either isolate or just go high pick and roll, and they just get, you can't put hands on a driver, right? So you see that a lot, and hopefully we can get better in those situations than we've been. But again, maybe I have not done a good job of recognizing that it is a process, because I'm not really all that interested in process, even though that's all I used to talk about.
Brad, the Celtics are in a somewhat unusual position in that Rondo, your best player, is not a scorer. So, who's your go-to guy down the stretch?
It's got to be by committee, Bill. It's got to be by committee. That's what I'm talking about. Like, you obviously trust Jeff making that play late, but you trust Avery making that play late. You trust Jared making that play late. Kelly, go down the list. We've got to do it by committee.
Greg, you've talked a lot about physicality, especially in the last 24 hours. Obviously, Marcus is only one person, but what does he bring to the table in that department?
Hopefully he adds in that department. That's one of his great strengths, and he's also got a good resolve about him that hopefully will add to us when and I talked about this earlier, is there's great mental toughness in being able to stop a run, and hopefully he'll be able to add something to us in that regard.
His energy is infectious, but how infectious can that part of his game be? Just being mentally strong.
Well, I think that's always infectious, no matter who it is. And the more guys that you have like that, the better. But also when things get going tough, sometimes, and I've never been through it like this, but sometimes it just takes one to get over the hump, and then all of a sudden you figured it out. I don't really think that's the way it works. I think you've got to do it every single night. And but if that gets our confidence up, then hopefully we can get over the hump soon. It's not going to be easy.
Coach, you mentioned confidence. There's a lot of confident individual players on this team, but how do you think you build team confidence?
Doing your job well at every opportunity.
When you say you're not that interested in the process anymore, is that because
I was being facetious?
Yeah, but do you think that your team should be further along right now than it is? Do you feel that this team should be at a better stage than it was from last year?
It's a really good question, Jay, because here's what I want them to hear me say is, we believe that we can go into any game, compete, and win. And so, is that a learning curve that you have to learn how to do that? Well, let's do it tonight. And so now, that being said, do we have a lot of growth? Obviously. We're 4-11. It's pretty clear we have a lot of growth, and I'm sure all the 4-win teams around the league would feel the same way. But man, I hate setting ceilings.
Brad, you went as close to calling your team soft as you could without saying soft. Did they hear that? Today during the shoot around, was there a message of like, they know they've got to get tougher, they know they've got to get grittier and tougher in the late stages?
Well, I know I use the word physical a lot, right? I think we need to play through contact better on both ends of the floor. And then I do think that we have to make strides in responding to adversity.